Alright, back outside the studio. This I'm visiting Santa Anita Park, world famous horse racing track. This video recorded June 15th, 2024. Going to start out here, the Paddock area, just outside the stands. And walk around the fountain here and show you a couple of statues of some famous horses. That there is the main entrance. The first statue is of Senora. We'll walk around to the other side. There's another statue on the other side of the fountain. Here we see a concession stand that is not open today. That there to the right, that is one of the entrances. We got the people taking a selfie, so sit back and wait, look at the architecture, Art Deco. And here is the statue to John Henry. And on this day, they had a photo opportunity. You can take a photo with a Clydesdale. Let's take a second and get a look at the horses. Let's make our way over to the Paddock Garden area. A lot of pre-race activity happens here. You see some horses here in the ring. These horses will be competing in the next race. This is the area where the jockeys mount the horses and then they head out to the track. We'll be coming back a little bit later and seeing more of the activity that goes on before the race. And there is a third statue. Look at it here inside the ring of Seabiscuit. And we see people heading towards the track for the race. There is the Seabiscuit statue. Let's get a closer look. And a closer look at the plaque. Here we see some media. This tent. And if you want some pizza, you can get yourself some pizza. At this time, let's make our way to the infield. We'll be going through the paddock room and then the tunnel. We're going to look at the paddock room here. So there is places to bet down here. There's also concession stands and some tables to sit down. Lots of monitors. We can see not only races from Santa Anita, but across the country as they will simulcast other tracks. And this is the infield tunnel. You'll walk through this tunnel and you'll end up in the infield. On the way over there, I can share some history of Santa Anita. Santa Anita Park opened on Christmas Day in 1934. There were 30,777 people in attendance. Santa Anita Park was the dream child of Charles Strub. Charles Strub was inspired by the 1932 Olympics, seeing the Coliseum, and wanted to build a racetrack where tens of thousands of people can or would come. Santa Anita Park was designed by Gordon Kaufman. He was the architect, designed it in Art Deco style. During the same time, Kaufman designed both the Hoover Dam and the Los Angeles Times building in downtown LA. There was racing in Arcadia before Santa Anita Park. The original track was built in 1903 by Elias J. Lucky Baldwin, and it was a 1-mile oval. It was located where the Santa Anita Golf Course and Arcadia Park are located right now. In 1909, California banned horse racing. And in 1912, the Grandstand burned down. In 1933, California made horse racing legal again. At that point, a year before, Baldwin's daughter, Anita, received the license to build a new track. She partnered with Joseph Smoot. But 8 months into construction of the new track, Joseph Smoot disappeared. Anita then sold 214 acres to Strub, and he built the current racetrack as we know it today. Here we are in the infield. Very quiet today. This is the Hollywood meet, as it's called. Santa Anita has a classic meet, begins the day after Christmas, and usually runs into May, or would run into May, when the action moves to Hollywood Park. That racetrack was torn down. It is now the home of SoFi Stadium. So those races that used to go to Hollywood Park in May and June are held here in Santa Anita. And there are not as many events as there are during the traditional meet. If you would come here opening day, or for the Santa Anita Handicap or the Santa Anita Derby, this location would be full of people, lots of vendors. Sometimes there's live music out here in between races. Here we see a vendor selling some mini donuts. Charles Strub was inspired by the 1932 Olympics to build Santa Anita, and in 1984, Santa Anita Park was the host of most of the equestrian events. Some of the endurance events were held at the Fairbanks Ranch Country Club in San Diego. But a lot of the show jumping, dressage were held here in Santa Anita. Santa Anita, unfortunately, will not be hosting any events of the 2028 Olympics. All of the equestrian events will be held in Temecula, California, at the Galway Downs. During the 1932 Olympics, equestrian events were held at the Riviera Country Club. The future site of the 2028 golf tournament for the Olympics. Cross-country events in 1932 were held in the Westchester area of Los Angeles. As we continue to walk through the infield, you'll see another tunnel. And this will lead out to a parking lot. There's a parking lot on the other side of the track. And here we have a little play area for the kids, a couple of inflatables. This day was the second to last day of the Hollywood meet. Day before Father's Day, and sadly not a lot of people in attendance. But like I said before, if you come on a big event day, like opening day, the handicap, the derby, be a lot more activity, a lot more families, a lot more kids. And perhaps maybe 2025 I'll come down for one of those events. Do a second Santa Anita Park. There is a picnic area. Santa Anita is very fan-friendly. You can bring food in. No alcohol, though. They do not want that. But if you want to bring your family, pack a picnic, they're very friendly towards that. You can see people there on the right. They had a cooler. Coming around here on the back side of the video board, we got more vendors. Okay, there were more people here in the infield. These benches will be full. Good place to sit down and see the video board. I'm going to make our way to this fence. Look over at the grandstands. The horses you saw earlier are actually on the track right now, getting ready. getting ready to race after hear the announcer. As it says, 7 minutes for them to get to the gate and to start the race. Here is the video board. If you're in the infield, this is probably the best view of the race. You can see when I went up to the fence, it really blocked the view. And let's take a look at the beginning of this race. Still have a few horses loading in and ready to go. And so here we see some people checking out the action on the video board. And while the race goes on, I'm going to make my way back to the Paddock Gardens. If the audio works out well, you can hear people talking, cheering, getting angry. It's always an interesting time at the racetrack. The infield is usually free to go in. Here you see these ticket booths. There is parking actually on the other side of the other tunnel. But for the big events like opening day and the derby and handicap, as I look at a helicopter, if you want to go to the grandstand, it will cost you. And right down either side, you saw some ticket booths. That's where you will pay. And then you can make your way through the tunnel like me to the grandstands. Santa Anita Park has been a popular location for filming movies. The first movie to be filmed at Santa Anita Park was in Old Kentucky in 1935, starring Will Rogers and Dorothy Wilson. Some famous actors filmed movies in the 30s. Charlie Chan at the Racetrack was filmed in 1936. And the Marx Brothers, also in 1936, filmed the movie A Day at the Races. Santa Anita has been used for 2 Seabiscuit movies. In 2003, the movie Seabiscuit, that's the most recent. And then in 1949, the story of Seabiscuit was filmed at Santa Anita. It's also remembered as the parking lot for Wally World and National Lampoon's Vacation. The movie Nixon was filmed at Santa Anita, shot to the Grandstand. And speaking of the Grandstand, if you want to go to the Grandstand, you go up this way. Go back to Nixon. The Grandstand and the Paddock area, the Paddock Circle, was used. Other movies filmed were Out to Sea in 1997. Jersey Boys in 2014, Notorious in 1946, A Star is Born, the 1937 version, had scenes filmed at Santa Anita. One of the most recent movies was Secret in Their Eyes, filmed in 2015. As we look at some old relics of the past, I guess you could see results on that old TV. And walking again across the paddock room. This way you can see concessions there on the right. And betting windows there on the left. A lot of betting now is done on computer screens. But you can find actual people, just fewer than before. And coming out to, this is the paddock circle. Right there on the right, see the horses coming in for the next race. And on the video screen, I believe this is the winner of the previous race. Horses are walked from the stables. Be further down the way they're coming in, just further down that way on the racetrack. They're going to be brought into these stalls, which we'll see right now. And these are the race horses. Their starting number. The person walking them is wearing their starting number. You see on that board, race 8 is the next race. We saw time to post 21. It means 21 minutes until race time, approximately. Anybody who goes to the horse races knows they don't always start on time. There underneath the 21, that is jockey room. It's where jockeys get ready for the race. Right now, these horses will be walked around a bit, and then they will go into their stalls where they will be, for lack of a better word, dressed for the race. Here we see a couple jockeys. We saw one coming in from the last race, and they'll get ready for their next race. The shirts the jockey wears are called silks, and each race horse owner has a different design. So they'll go in, take off the silk, and then put on the silk of the owner of the horse they're going to ride in the next race. What you're seeing here is part of the warm-up process. So we'll keep walking around the horses, getting them warmed up. We saw one horse already in the stall. There's also other equipment they'll put on the horse. Some horses need blinkers, which will go out on the side of their eyes so they can't see the peripheral. They can only see straight ahead. See horse number 4 in a stall. I'm sure you think he's going to start walking right now. Number 1, number 2. We see another jockey heading into the jockey room. Yeah, horse number 4 is walking around again. Right here you got a lot of bettors. A lot of people like to come and look at the horses before they race. There's things they look for. If you know what you're looking for, you want a horse. Some people want a horse that's calm. They don't want to see a horse sweating a lot. If the horse is very anxious, a lot of bettors believe that it won't run well. I don't know. I've been here. I've been seeing horses jumping around, kicking up dirt, and they go out and they kick ass in the race. So everybody has their own system, I guess. There are 6 stalls to the left here. The horses 1 through 6 and 7 through 12 are on the other side. Starting positions are drawn, I believe, a couple days before the race. I believe that was number 7 there, getting ready. Here we're getting horse number 1 ready. This red thing they're putting on is called the saddle cloth, and it carries the horse's number of the gate. He'll be starting in gate 1. That guy took, that is the saddle, and you can see he's getting a little bit nervous. He seems to calm down a bit. Yep, getting nervous again. You see number 2 there in the stall next to him. And they'll take number 1 out for another stroll. All part of the process. Warming them up, keeping them calm. And the one there putting up a fight. So after all that is done, we'll bring them out to the paddock circle. They'll walk them around a couple of times. Jockeys are, at this time, probably finished getting dressed, and they'll come out in a few minutes and mount the horse. Actually, I see one jockey there, kind of in orange. Like I said, every horse owner, either independent owner or an actual farm, they have their own silks with their own designs. So that is what the jockey wears. this horse is a worker horse. There are plenty of those. They usually, when they take them out to the track, as we see the names of the horses, each racehorse will come out with a worker and they'll be on a horse. So there'll be two horses coming out. They're holding them up. There's still people coming in from the stalls. See another jockey coming up. People here in the grass in the middle are owners and maybe some of their friends. As I continue showing you the names of the horses and their numbers. There you see a jockey meeting with some owners, shaking hands.
You don't see up there on the screen, it says the race number 8, and then MTP means minutes to post race to start.
And there you see the jockeys mounting the horses. And they're on the far end. You'll see them heading for the track. There is a tunnel on that far side of the track. We'll be going over there a little later on. Coming trackside now, I'm going to show you a bit of how they set up for the race. This is the starting gate. And it's going to be placed at the starting point. As I try to set up my camera and find some shade. It was kind of warm, high 80s today. Way over there, you can see some of the horses heading towards the starting gate. So right now this tractor will set up the starting gate. Here we see some reporter for one of the broadcasts. Could be TVG, could be First Bet. Horses are now making their way towards the starting gate. the lower your starting number for the horse, it'll be closer to the inside part of the track. That's why we kind of notice the numbers are going backwards from 8 to 1. And now we'll begin the loading process. Each horse will go into their assigned gate.
It's about time. The horses are at the gate. They're moving in for race gate. Pony Express and Wise Council are taking up their positions.
And hopefully you can hear the announcers giving out information of the horses. Once the race begins, this gate will be pulled by the tractor off to the side of the turn. So we'll head towards the left of the video. You can see some of the horses already inside their gate.
Your attention, please. Late scratch at the gate of number 2, Wise Council. Number 2, Wise Council has been withdrawn. Please check your tickets carefully. Late scratch at the gate of number 2.
So as you heard there from the kid and the announcer, there's been a late scratch, number 2. A scratch means that the horse will not race. So if you had bet on him, you can actually, they'll refund you your money, your ticket. Zooming in, that is probably Wise Council back on his way to the stables. Hopefully nothing serious. And now you see the workers here. They're going to move all the horses towards the right. So they move. They just change up the numbers. But number 3 will now start on from the second gate. And the loading process begins again. Right now the other horses are taken out of the gates and just walked around, keeping them warm.
Reloading with Pony Express heading the process. Indispensable, Field of Magic coming up. Factory Drive. Together with Canada Gate. The colors of Jump On. Pirates Classic second to last. And Winterfell will be the last one to load. Coming up, they'll open in front of the gate for Winterfell. Who's in now? All set.
All set. And there they go. All races are followed by an ambulance in case there's any kind of accident. These jockeys could be very seriously hurt if they fall off a horse. And there's the truck, other workers. This race is 1 1/16 mile. And we'll cut to the end of the race. As you can see, the starting gates have been moved out of the way. Otherwise, it would be interesting to see the horses try to get around it. There you can see that green pillar right now, that horse crossing, that is the finish line. And this is some of the post-race activities. These are the horses that did not win.
Finishing second was number
Heading back to the stable.
Third, 5 Indispensable. Fourth, 8 Winterfell.
They've already taken off their saddle cloths, so hard to know which one is which as the announcer gives out information. This is what you'll see after the race on the video board. I'll try to explain. So you see 5 horses. These are the top 5 horses. Now the top 3 have money underneath their names. So let's look at Pony Express. So Pony Express has 3 amounts. That is for win, place, and show. That is the payout on a $2 bet. If you bet more, then you have to multiply it. So if you bet $4, it'd be twice as much, and so on.
1 minute 43.15 seconds. The 8th name for
Win, place, show bets are a minimum $2 bet, and that is the payout. If you look at number 5, he only has 1 payout in the 3rd place position. So if you bet him to show, you would have won $3.40 for every $2 you bet. And this is the next race. This is a turf race, and it's kind of a short hill race. Santa Anita is known for their downhill race. And I'll show you more of the hill right now. This is a turf race that's run on grass, mostly grass. Now you're going to see these people running across. You see that gate right there on the grass? When they come around, it will be gone. They will have moved it out of the way. Once again, sorry for the shaky camera here. Warm day and tight zoom. This is the end of the race. This is race number 9. And as you see there, they moved that gate out away from the grass. We got some happy people. Right now you could hear the roar of the crowd. This is usually the end of the race when the horses are here in the home stretch. People make noise. Taking a look at this hill. During the regular meet from December to May, there are a lot of downhill races, and they will begin way over there. You can see that white structure there as I zoom in. A lot of races will start way up there, and then they will race. You can see the tree line. That is all the track. Coming down, you kind of see there where they started this race. Usually if they race from way up the hill over there, they will not go around like this race. It'll be a straight line down the hill to the finish line. And now up in the Grandstand area, getting some shade, drinking some Gatorade. And we're going to watch race number 10. This race will begin far side of the track. Different races will have different starting points. That's why the gates are pulled by those tractors. We got a wide shot. See some of the grandstands. If it wasn't so hot and sunny, there would probably be people on those picnic benches. Like I said, it was a lightly attended day today. The video board will show you a lot of the loading procedure. I'm not sure if you noticed on the board it says 0 minutes to post. Like I said earlier, horse races don't usually start at their posted time. There you see right now, race 10, minutes 0. I mean, it is already post time. The nice thing about the video board, you get some nice views of the horses loading in. You got that almost sky cam view of the horses and the jockey inside the gate. You'll see there the odds. Those are the odds. When you see like on number 1, the number 9, so 9 to 1, now 8 to 1. Meaning for every dollar you bet, you'll get $8 payoff. Number 11 is the favorite, where it said 3 to 5. So meaning if you bet $5, you'll get $3 plus your 5. So about an $8. If you bet $5, you would win about $8. It's not exact. Horse racing has a thing that the odds change up until race time as people make their bets. So unfortunately, it's not like regular sport betting. Like if you go and bet on a baseball team to win the championship, the World Series, and they're not doing good at the time. Let's say they're 50 to 1 and they get hot. Your bet counts at 50 to 1. They don't change it at the end. Horse racing, if you want to bet on a long shot, let's say they're 30 to 1, and you bet 15 minutes before the race, and then so you have a 30 to, you think you're going to get paid maybe $60 on your $2 bet, and then like in the last 5 minutes, a lot of people like to bet for it to show, and that just brings down the odds. So that is just one of the things about horse racing as they go. And I'm going to stick on this race the entire race. There'll be no cut, so you can kind of see, experience an actual horse race as it would happen in real time. And you can hear, hopefully, the announcer. He'll give play-by-play throughout the entire race.
Edie, who's toward the back of the field. The two trailers are Brunch with Edie and Tiz Miz Paradise at the back. It's Hope Road, less than 3 furlongs from home, showing the way. On the line, trying to press it. 7-2 Queen. Racing on the inside of Richard Jordan's in fourth. Philippa is next. One Magic Billy is starting to make a nice move. Extremely wide on the right leg. At the top of the stretch, the leader, one Magic Billy is coming swiftly. Inside the end.
The roar of the crowd was a little not as loud as before. It looks like we got somebody who's really happy and somebody who's upset. And that is your typical horse race. This was race 10. A lot of the crowd at this point had gone home. And right now we're in the main line area of the racetrack. So here you have some betting windows. Like a lot of now are video boards or computers. You would put your money there, and you make your bet. Lots of monitors here. Both Santa Anita races and other races across the country are simulcast. And there are a lot of vendors here. This place has some Dole soft serve. And there's a little taco shack here. There's also regular concession stands. Sodas, beers, hot dogs. Santa Anita does have a food court. I'll show you a little later on. If you saw the beginning of the video, over to the right there was an entrance. That if you had gone up those escalators or stairs, you would have come in straight to here. This is they call it the main line. It's mainly the main portion of the racetrack. The paddock room we were earlier is actually underneath the floor down. You see more windows for betting, more monitors, people standing around. You see other racetracks, what's going on. There's another entrance. You kind of notice the betting monitors there on the right. You got this little kind of bar area. Nothing going on here today. Like I said a couple of times, if you come for a big event, opening day, the Derby, the handicap, there'll probably be some action going on there, an actual bartender. Try not to draw too much attention to myself. We got a lot of people here betting. I'm actually holding my phone with my hand right now. It's kind of chest level. Try not to attract any attention. And apparently if you want to watch the hockey game, watch that too. You can't bet on it though. There's no sport betting here at Santa Anita, only horse racing. Over here is First Rewards. So if you want to come, you can sign up, get a card, you get some perks like cheaper admission, you can get a free program. We have a seating area here. And this is the food court. I'm only here for a few seconds, but you can get hot dogs, hamburgers, sodas, chips. Very small little food court. Now further down the track, this is the tunnel to get into the track. If you remember when we were at the Paddock Circle, you saw the horses leaving. This is the way they come. This is the way they get into the track. This is race number 11. This will be the last race of the day. And like with the other race, give the horses some glory. You see, they're starting with number 2. Number 1 was a scratch. Horse names are kind of funny sometimes. Really, there's no rhyme or reason why they get their names. A lot of them, they mix up the names of their parents. You see a Cortez. And that is the tunnel leading towards the racetrack. So they'll reach the racetrack. The starting gate for this race was just like the other race, the previous race we saw. So they'll start in that same location, that far right corner. This, I believe, is the clubhouse. Signs right there say the clubhouse bar. Some chairs and tables. Monitors everywhere. So you can make your bed if you don't want to be outside in the heat. You can come in here, have a beer, and watch the race. Let's go do a little bit of exploring here. And you can see why Santa Anita is a location a lot of people like to film in. This Art Deco design. You're doing some kind of period piece would be a nice location to use for filming. Little direction board. Of all the times I've been to Santa Anita Park, this is the first time I've come to this area. We got some concession stands that are not in use today. And more monitors. There you see the horses we just saw getting ready for the race. And that was where all the horses were earlier. Let's go up these escalators, see what we can see up here. These are the box seats. So grandstand seating, with your general admission, you can sit anywhere in the grandstands that are open. These seats are a little bit more expensive. These are the box seats, where you get some perks like your own personal video monitor. This is the view of the track. You're much closer here to the finish line. And this is, I believe, it's Silk's restaurant. So back to the clubhouse. If you wanted to sit down and watch a race on the monitor, this would be your experience. Somebody apparently wants number 9 to win. Don't know if somebody was upset or just sneezed. That there is Front Runner Restaurant. If you are watching in October 2024, the autumn meet is currently going on, and there are some events going on. If you want to go on the weekend of the 12th to the 13th or the 19th and the 20th, it will be Oktoberfest with food, beer, and live music. Also on the 19th and the 20th is LA Taco Birra Mania. There will be various vendors from Los Angeles and some micheladas, some music, and some lucha libre. On Monday the 14th, celebrating whatever it is you want to celebrate on that day, that is the Dollar Day, where you can have $1 beer and sodas and $2 hot dogs. Santa Anita always does Dollar Days on Monday holidays, especially in the classic meet. If you want to go on Martin Luther King birthday, they have Dollar Days, and on President's Day. Back to October 2024, on the 19th and the 20th and the 26th to the 27th, there'll be the Fall Fun Fest, and there'll be a pumpkin patch, a roller rink, and live music. And on the 27th, you can see the Halloweener Fest, some dachshund races. So if you want to see some dogs race instead of some horses. On the 26th, Saturday, will be Pizza Day, and there'll be pizza vendors from across Los Angeles, and also craft beer. And the auto meet will close on the 27th of October. And then Santa Anita will be closed for racing until the day after Christmas, the start of the traditional meet. If you want to visit Santa Anita, it is open for simulcast. So where you saw on the main line, you can go in there, make bets at tracks across the country. If you saw a little earlier, that building named Champions, that is the gift shop. Selling standard gift shop stuff like t-shirts, keychains. I got a can cooler. They have it designed for like the silk claws of the horses. Alright, that's going to be Santa Anita Park. Thank you for watching.